Morning. Doing another lawn mowing live stream here today. It is Thursday, May the 8th, 2025. So thought I would do a live stream. A beautiful sunny day, so let's get to it. This is a house that I have actually done live streams on times. Switch the camera around and put it in my holder there. Tighten it up a little bit, not too much. Just want to be able to adjust that. And get out and around. Here, parking's a bit tight today. Where I'm at. The Milwaukee backpack blower out again today too. It already kind of came in handy on my last house where I had to park farther away. It was nice with the backpack blower to be able to put it on my shoulders with that adjustable tube length, kind of shorten it up so it's not dragging on the floor, and be able to carry the trimmer in one hand, push the mower with the other hand, and have the backpack blower in the other hand. That's a clover in this line. Beautiful sunny day. We've actually had an unseasonable amount, or actually the opposite of that, an unseasonable lack of rain. Normally, you guys follow the podcast and stuff, I'm always talking about working in the rain. And over the last 2-3 weeks, we've only really had maybe 2 days of rain. So, well, I really obviously enjoy the change of pace of being able to mow in dry conditions. I'm sure that lack of rain is going to be an issue coming in the summer. You can hear the string on the string trimmer kind of flapping around. I had to, I was using the end of a roll of Oregon Gator line, and it's a roll I found in my garage. So I don't know how old it is. So I was like, oh, let me use this up. They needed some string, and I hadn't had a chance to go get some. I figured I would use it up, but it's I should have soaked it beforehand. So it's been pretty brittle. And so it's broken, and it has been getting stuck inside the trimmer head. So I had to pull it out, like open up the trimmer head on the last house at the end to pull it out. But then, of course, it's all now kind of like wound up in the shape of how it was before. So you see, it's got some kind of, it's hard to see on camera, but kind of some uneven curves on it that can cause flapping if it's kind of bent the wrong way from how it was originally wound on there. So I was asking on some past live streams for people watching what they suggest for string trimmer line. I'm going to try something else. Never really got any suggestions. I've used the Morgan Gator line in the past. I've used, I think it's Husqvarna Titanium. And then I was using Black Diamond. Echo Black Diamond for a long time. But I think what I'm going to do is when I started using this Milwaukee string trimmer, of course it comes with like every string trimmer you buy does, comes with line already preloaded on the head, and I'm not sure why. I assumed that Milwaukee didn't make line. I thought it was just, they're just putting in some generic line included in the trimmer, but I noticed that they actually do make line. So I was saying to myself that the Milwaukee line that came on the trimmer was actually really nice. I found it to be, it's like the twist style lines, which I like. But I found it to last a long time. That initial amount of line that was on the trimmer head. I just did a quick Google search to kind of see like what kind of line is this, and found that, well, it's Milwaukee line, and you can buy it. So I think I'm gonna get some of that. It seems to make sense since I'm using a Milwaukee trimmer to use their line as well. Might as well keep it the full experience. Line can make a lot of difference, I've learned over the years. For example, in how a machine feels to the operator. Like a lot of companies will put a lot of effort with string trimmers into, especially gas ones, into like anti-vibration features like the handles and stuff that have some flex to it and some nice rubber cushioning, and that can all be pointless if you're using the wrong line. For example, I used an Oregon Gator line that was, and I believe this one, let me just double check. Yeah, this is the round. But I've used in the past the Oregon Gator square line, and those square edges are really great for being sharp and cutting cleanly through, especially heavy overgrowth. But they cause major vibrations in machines, where after extended times using it, you'll have like pins and needles in your hands. And I never actually really thought about it. It was only when I was in that Echo UAG program, and they were talking about the Black Diamond line, and how it's basically it's like a square line with the sharp edges, but it's twisted to give it that diamond kind of shape. So you get the benefits with the twist lines of being that sharp edges, but it's twisted so that it's round overall, which cuts through the air with less turbulence, essentially, which causes less vibration. So really like those twist type lines ever since then. They really showed me using the black diamond for an extended period of time, a couple years. That yes, it cuts clean and gives you a very low vibration. That Milwaukee one was the same. This one's roughly about the same. This one's probably a little bit of those three. Although this is just a round line. So you're getting kind of like the anti-vibration effects, but this round gator line doesn't give you the same like clean cutting. For regular lawn maintenance, it's not a big deal. It's more for the getting to those overgrown areas or like the commercial property that I have. That will be my last lawn of the day today. Lots of blackberry vines that during the warmer months explode and are just like growing so rapidly that a lot of times they're like blackberry bushes are really tall as well, so you get these big vines that are just kind of creeping up around the surrounding trees, and then they kind of hang down in your way. So usually when I'm trimming there, I will, as I go by the blackberry bushes, I just will whack them. And those sharp edges really help in that respect when it's like a blackberry vine. Edges curb. As always, if you're watching, let me know if audio is coming in clear and where you might be watching from. Always fun to know. If you have any questions or comments, keep it respectful. But I will do my best to answer. If you're watching this after the fact, and it's not live, and you have a question, just put it in the normal comments. Alright, looks like I need some more line. Let's see if this thing is going to... Yeah, let's see if it's going to actually advance the line, because it's all bent up from being pulled out and put back in. Oh, it worked. That's good. That's good. Because it wasn't doing that on the last one. It was getting bound up on itself. See that? I missed that little bit there because I took my eyes off of it and looked at the screen. Right off to the backyard. Should be no issues with drainage today. Should touch up around here some more. This little area here used to be all a like carved out garden bed, and then I showed up one day and mulch was removed and soil was put in its place and seeded. Not sure why. to be careful with these vinyl fences, plastic fences. That's why you'll see I'm not getting too close with the string trimmer line on it. I'm sure I'm really careful around it. I'm sure this line would rip it up. It's just basically plastic. It's patio season, furniture's out. Yeah, big difference on the way the lawn feels on my feet here. Normally it's so spongy that in this backyard, but with the lack of rain, it has hardened up. The only problem is that it's very lumpy because of all the rain usually. This corner especially is notorious for the drainage. I've been enjoying these live streams. I was on Amazon looking for a kind of a stealthy looking tripod that I could use that kind of folds up really nice and compact so that I could have these POV shots like this, but then pop the phone off and put it on a tripod that I could possibly carry in my back pocket, fold it up, and then it kind of opens up and can get more of a wide angle view as well, and kind of mix and match. So that's coming tomorrow. So by next week, hopefully, some of the live streams will be able to do that. I do have traditional, tripods. My brain just went blank there for a second. Traditional tripods, but they're just too big and bulky. And I think the one I'm looking at is like the one I ordered. Looks more like a selfie stick. So it's just one pole, and the legs are like part of it. You can open up the legs, and it's got like the phone holder on it that folds onto the side of it. So it's really compact and just be easier to tote around. It's not the smallest thing. Kind of reminds me of lightsaber. That's not, for Star Wars when they're carrying their lightsabers, but they're not turned on. Kind of like that size, just a round little thing, or like half a nunchuck handle. Just that sort of a thing, just like a single round cylinder. You might be able to put it in a pocket or something. Especially like on these Milwaukee pants, have these like deeper side pockets and stuff. So I might be able to just have it on the side there. Actually, I'm going to adjust the height on this a little bit lower. Put the front at 2 inches, and the rear is at 2.5. Last lawn was very, very thick and lush, so I had to do that one at 2.5 inches back and front. I really do like having the option to adjust the height on the rear and the front independently, like your traditional, Honda HRC 216s and stuff like that I used for many years. Those were like 4 corners. Each individual wheel could be adjusted, and especially for different lawns I could notice, going into summer and stuff like that. The healthier lawns I could keep at a certain height, both wheels, but for one that may be starting to slow down a little earlier, that might not look as clean cut. So then I would just adjust that front set of wheels. Or if it's like raining and grass is wet, then raising the rear independently one notch makes a huge difference. Same with mulching. If you're having trouble mulching, raising that rear makes a massive difference. In fact, there's like mowers like the X-Mark, zero turns and stuff that now include that as a feature, being able to pitch the deck forward, lower in the front than the rear on the fly from the operator's seat. And it's because of that same principle. So that's the one thing I think I'll miss when I finally do start testing the Milwaukee mower when that arrives. If and when that arrives. It's supposed to be coming, but apparently back ordered. So I don't know if that means it'll be coming soon or it'll be coming after they've caught up on things, or I don't know. Who knows? Everything in the world right now is messed up with trade and stuff, right? So that could just be affecting the whole supply chain, even though I'm not in the US, I'm in Canada, so there's no current tariffs and things. But there could be disruptions because of those things happening, those global issues. So hopefully the Milwaukee mower comes, because I am really interested in testing that out. I've heard both positive and negative about the Milwaukee mower. So that's like any product, right? There's people that will like stuff that don't. That's why when I talk about a product, unless it's a catastrophic failure, most times it's just something that, for my circumstance, the lawns and climate that I'm in, that it's not ideal. But that doesn't mean it's not a good product. For example, I use the X-Mark Stars 32-inch stand-on mower. And great little mower, built fantastically. It's like a tank, that thing. But just ultimately didn't work for the clients that I have. Doing really tiny properties and stuff like that. A lot of lawns would have, like a hilly area. Some lawns would have hills, slopes and stuff. So it makes it more, not the hills and slopes necessarily that were the issue, although they could be, depending on which direction you're mowing. It was more the stairs. So a lot of the lawns that I would have like a step, like 1 or 2 stairs to go to the back of the yard or something, right? So although I could fit it through the tiny little gates, because of course it's just a 32-inch stand-on, the stairs would be an issue. So obviously I wouldn't use it for that. And then it was like, well, if I'm gonna, because of the way my trailer is, if I have, I can carry those outside of a 21-inch or a 30-inch push mower inside that side compartment. Anything else, stand-on mower, ride-on mower, walk behind, larger walk behinds would have to be in the back of the trailer. So outside of that, it means that, like on a situation like that if I can't take a mower into the backyard, sometimes it's not even worth using it on the front yard because it means having to unload one mower for one front yard and having to pull out the push mower for the backyard anyways. So by the time you do all that, the time you're saving using the larger mower is wasted in the time it takes to load and unload and strap it down, all that stuff. So I usually just would end up just push mowing it anyways. So although a fantastic mower, it just wasn't right for my business, my situation. Where I've seen a lot of guys, and there's some that come to mind that I follow on Instagram that are in Florida, so much drier climate, and they use that 32-inch starters, and it's practically in all of their little videos every day, and they love it, and it looks to be fantastic for them. I ended up selling mine because of that, and then noticed that the guy who bought it, only about 1 or 2 years later, I stumbled upon it on Marketplace, and it was for sale again and had very little hours on it from when I had sold it. So he maybe put another 100 hours or so on it and was selling it. So obviously it didn't work for him either, which isn't surprising, being in the same area, same climate. We're in a very tricky climate here because of the amount of rain here in the Pacific Northwest. Lawns are particularly soggy, and commercial machines are very heavy. So normally, even if it hasn't rained, it can still take quite a few days, sometimes a week or so, for lawns to dry out. Enough to be able to handle the weight of certain machines. It's just kind of the nature of it. So lots of considerations for the equipment that you use in your business. Looks like I forgot to edge this patio. Yep, definitely forgot to edge the patio. The joys of live streaming. Lots of other things that you're concentrating on. As we saw with that little spot I missed on the curb, and from taking my eyes off of it for 2 seconds. Front section. Lawns are really coming in now. That is the one nice thing. And look at that. See, I forgot something else too. I usually mow that front section first. This whole front section I usually mow. Oh, you know what it was? I was coming up the driveway. The garage door was opening. The client was in there, so I didn't continue mowing the section, just so that I didn't have to point the camera or worry about any of that. Yeah, so I would say that this lawn is starting to get on the kind of that precipice of needing to have the rear wheels lowered to that 2.5 mark, or sorry, to that 2 inch mark to match the front. Seems to be slowing down a little bit. Yeah, you can tell on your mowing lawns, you can just kind of tell with the look you're kind of going after, what you want. See how lumpy the lawn is. See how much the mower's bouncing around. Yeah, I think by next week here, I will have to lower the mower down. So yeah, that's kind of telling me kind of what I was talking about. The lack of rain, although nice for me to not have to be out in the rain, is probably going to cause some issues as we go into summer. More drought issues, drying out lawns, things like that. To see already here in May that already seen I'm kind of slowing down. No questions from anybody yet? Nope, nothing in the chat. Everybody likes to just watch. It's an odd shape here. Spot over there as well. 3 bars on the battery on this 11 amp hour battery, and this is the third house so far. So I think I got this area. Alright, we're good now to get over here to the long stretches. Yeah, so on some of the live streams I've been doing, I've been able to take off the camera, kind of put it on something, makeshift, impromptu I'm getting some grass buildup, so on that rear wheel. glasses off so I can see a bit better. Sun's going down, or clouds are, I guess, are in the way. It's only 10:57 in the morning, so definitely not sun going down. But clouds covering up the sun. All of a sudden it was getting dark in my sunglasses, my safety sunglasses there. This side's still growing good. This side yard, it's growing. See how you can clearly see the side yard here where I've cut, where I haven't cut, at the height I'm at. Yeah, in that little front area, it was kind of hit or miss looking, where you cut it and it kind of looks not 100% quite as clean looking. It'd be hard to see on camera, but that's why I'm saying I'll have to adjust the wheels next week. But then over here on this side, it's cutting really nice. So it's obviously growing a little bit more on this side. Lots of moss in this lawn. Tons of moss. But that's almost like every lawn because of that rain that we get usually. This neighborhood is notorious for terrible parking. Just all the forward-facing driveways take up a bunch of curb space, and then, of course, they only allow parking on one side of the road because it's not wide enough. And then a lot of these houses have rental suites. They're like 3-story houses, so the sunken basement will have a rental suite. So then you have tenants in a lot of the houses that have cars taking up street parking. So I show up with my truck and trailer and sometimes have a hard time finding a spot. Like today, you can see I'm like right at the end of the street there. So hopefully I can get this done without getting a ticket. There are a lot of times the like contracted out parking patrols, so like private companies. The city itself wouldn't ticket, I've been told by city parking people, that unless somebody actually complains that you're parked in their way or blocking their driveway or something like that. But they don't go around looking for parking tickets. But they do have subcontracted companies as well that make their money based on, I guess, how many tickets they write. And those guys will ticket you. And they're relentless. There's one I got a ticket, kind of same situation I'm in right now. I kind of parked close to the curb, but it wasn't even as close as I am now. I was way farther away. It wasn't with the truck, it was with my own personal vehicle during my kids' soccer practice one year. And I was in a neighborhood around a city park that they were practicing at, and came back and there was a ticket, and I was like, how is there a ticket? I am like miles away from the corner. But it was one of those corners where you see like the curve, how the curve happens. It was one of those ones where the curve is really gradual, so it's like this big long curve. And technically, because I have to look it up, technically, the rule for here in this city is that you have to be like 6 meters or whatever it is from a corner. But that 6 meters is measured from where the curve starts going straight. So, for example, like this particular corner here, you can see it's kind of a gradual curve. So you would think, and I thought at least, that you would measure the parking distance from where the stop sign is back. But all this curve section doesn't count. So it would start from essentially that mark right there, where the curb is there straight. Once the curb starts curving, that's not part of the 6 meters. It would be 6 meters back from here. And that's why I got a parking ticket. Did not know that. So today I am definitely in the no parking zone, but what can you do? Just kind of cross your fingers and go. Like the only other spot today would have been across over there, across the street, but there's a little sidewalk exit right in the middle. So my trailer would be blocking that, and that would be a ticket as well. So it's just one of those things, right? You're like, darned if you do and darned if you don't. Of course, the truck ahead of me here has a bunch of room if he had pulled forward, but I'm sure there was other cars parked there and stuff as well. So it's one of those things. It's always like a race against time when you are mowing some lawns in some of these neighborhoods. And then if you block somebody's driveway, then that's potentially a ticket as well. So, just gotta kind of do the best you can. I brought my gloves, but I'm not gonna use them because, again, it's one of those things. For time, just to kind of mow and go. So I do have to remember, though, to trim edge of that back patio next before I blow off. Still no questions from anybody. So go load this up. I'm going to grab the trimmer again. Just edge that back patio. And then blow off. Or actually, what I could do is a 2-for-1. Since I've got the Milwaukee backpack blower, I can carry that on my shoulders. And I've got the length set on the tube so that it doesn't drag when I'm walking if I can't hold it. So I got a comment from, let's see here, OCNS. What's up, bud? What's up? I'm doing good. How are you doing? Where are you watching from? Yes, I think I'm going to try to do both of these. I'll take both of these out. Take this out again. So I can edge that patio. I forgot. Which means putting the glasses back on. Oh. Just one of the things when you're trying to stream. Like I said, you get distracted with the stream. This Milwaukee blower is nice. Kind of a mid-powered unit, 600 CFM, 20.5 newtons of force. I like that you have the option of using 2 batteries or 4. And then has the adjustable length here. So I've got it set so that it's not dragging on the ground, which is one of the things with the Crest backpack blower why I wouldn't do things like this, where I would, if I had to take the blower or trimmer or whatever, I would just do them as separate trips. But you can see I've got it set so it's not dragging. I'm pretty short, so the Crest one would it would drag on the floor if I wasn't physically holding onto the handle. So this one doesn't do that, so I can walk with my hands free. I can have the blower hanging off my back, one hand on the trimmer, even be pushing the lawnmower in those areas where parking is tough. Put my glasses back on. So yeah, the Milwaukee blower is nice for the 2 batteries or 4 batteries. It's all about options. For all these small properties, I just run 2 batteries. And for the time of year, 2 batteries is sufficient. Actually, I'm going to pull a little grass there that was sticking up. I don't want to put the trimmer against the plastic vinyl fence. Yeah, it gives you the option. I can run it with a 2, which is obviously a lot lighter weight than putting 4 batteries in it. 4 batteries doesn't give you any more power, it just gives you a longer run time. I also like the variable speed trigger on it is very nice. You can get it right to how much you want to put and get it down like really low. The handheld blower I found is a little bit less sensitive than the Milwaukee dual battery handheld blower. It's harder to get it to really slow at times. So with this one, I just end up keeping it on full power and just using the variable speed trigger to adjust what I need. I think we're good. That should be it for that one. One thing I would like improved on this blower is I wish I had, instead of the cloth handle, I wish I had like a molded Like stiff handle. Just gonna grab this client's invoice from last month. Their receipt, I guess I should say. Well, clients are credit card on file. And then just go throw it on there, throw it in the door. And that is it for this one. Off to, what's next? Oh, the little front yard one. Yeah, the little front yard one. Maybe I can, let me just check the battery on the phone. That one's only a couple blocks away. I could, and it's all like residential, like these types of neighborhoods. So potentially I could just continue the stream going. Let me see what my battery is. Hang on. 42% battery. So that might work. Yeah, I'll try it. I'll go to the next house. The audio is going to switch though to my Bluetooth in the truck though. So the audio is going to sound a little bit more distant until I get back out. Just hang. Take the headphones. Take my hat off and the glasses off. Now I get my seatbelt on. I'm going to have to drive to the end of this block and turn around. Cul-de-sac at the end of the street. And the next one is just a few blocks over. Bear with me, you got a nice view of my steering wheel. It's nice. You can kind of see my Toto Android stereo there, aftermarket, double din. It's got wireless Apple CarPlay right now that is connected. Has Android Auto as well. This is a fantastic upgrade if you've got an older vehicle that doesn't have a lot of tech like the new vehicles have, and you want that have, you know, the maps and stuff if you're looking for addresses and things like that. It's been really awesome. And basically just an Android tablet. I've got the dash cam installed up on the dash there as well. That gives me a view if I go out of there and go to that load, see if that can load. For some reason. Yeah. That was a fail. I
I've got the rear camera too. Oh, there you go. There's the rear camera. The backup camera, but it lets you run the backup camera. Even when you're driving, so if you want to monitor your trailer, or depending on how you point it. I have the camera pointed down because I use it for hooking up the trailer. A lot easier. You can see the tongue there. Usually the front camera loads up right away, but for some reason it's not. The joys of Android. Let's see if I can cancel that out. Oh, yeah, weird. It's not even opening that part of it. So there's nothing to cancel out. That's strange. That's the first time that's ever had an issue. At any rate, this usually gives you like a live view of what the dash cam. The dash cam is independent, so it doesn't have to be connected to the radio. It's always recording. But that app there usually lets you see what's seeing, and you can actually browse the files on the dash cam there as well if you don't want to take out the memory card. But normally I always just take out the memory card and put it in my computer to get the full resolution version of the file, not like a compressed preview. Almost there. Same neighborhood, just on the other side of the neighborhood. And this one has parking right up front. So that's nice. My side door, I'm always looking at like poles and stuff. Darth Siduous says, "Hi all." Hello. I recognize the screen name from another, I think a live stream that maybe you had joined in. Glasses on, and the Bluetooth should switch once I open my door.
Let's give it a second. Hopefully that switched over. The audio now to the microphone on the headset. The headset mic. Oh, yeah, this is what I'm talking about, because my side door swings down. When I'm parking, I was going to watch for like light poles and trees and stuff to make sure I'm in between, in a spot that the side door is going to open. Let me know where you guys are watching from. That would be good. And how's my stream doing? 6,000 kilobytes per second, so that's pretty darn good. I think should be 1080p at least. Should be streaming without any glitches at that kind of speed. And should be able to just leave the door open. Those Gorilla lifts are great. Takes a lot of the weight, actually all of the weight off the door, but they have this little bit of extra slack here when you get to that last, 10% of the door. So it's actually nice because if I just leave the door, it lets me keep the door open like that, and it's good for if I'm at a property like this where I'm working right here, I'm not going into a backyard or anything. And you see this lawn here, the boulevard has been decimated by Schaefer beetle grub. I've talked to the client about some options to ask me about, but I have not heard from her yet. Whether she wants to do that. She did mention that she would be selling the house at some point, so I'm not sure when that's happening. This would be kind of the time for them selling. The spring is usually when things are heated up. But let's see. It also looks like the sprinkler system is not turned on yet because either that or somebody has put some weed killer on the lawn, which I don't do. I don't touch any chemical weed killers. The plant lawns. Talked about that in the previous stream. My reasons for that. But somebody may have, because I can see kind of a look. I can always tell. By the look of the lawn. That the lawn seems stressed from something being put on it. And then of course you can see where weeds are turning yellow. Starting to turn yellow, all this little stuff there. Trim. Tend to trim these every few weeks. So we'll do that today. You see with these stones how they've recessed into the lawn. That is normal here with all the rain. The ground always been soft with people walking on them during those wintry conditions. It's really wet and rainy constantly, especially if haven't been installed properly with like base and stuff, which usually for a step like this people aren't doing. They're just kind of recessing it into the soil. Go on. Oh, time to swap out the battery. Using the 8.0 Forge batteries. So what did we get on that first battery? We got 1, 2. Sorry, my brain is kind of 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it 4? Only 4? There's 4 houses on that first battery. Oh, but I used that battery in the morning. Or sorry, not in the morning, yesterday. On the last house. That's why. I was getting confused there. I'm like, usually I can get like... I've been averaging about 6, 7 houses on a forge battery with the trimmer. But yesterday, Wednesday, I always end the day with my big property, big residential property. Did a stream from there last week, I believe, on Wednesday. That one is in a neighborhood where the lawns are about 4 times the size of the average ones that I do. So I started that battery and then I didn't bother charging it because I was like, well, this kind of adds to the charge cycles. It's not really needed because I've got enough batteries. I'd rather let them deplete and do a charge. That's why it just threw me off for a minute. I was like, something wrong with that battery? Alright. And then I gotta go to edge this side here. Tell you, when you're doing the live stream, your brain is going so many things to think about. It is a bit distracting at times. This, I don't know what the heck they're doing over here in the city. They keep coming back and forth to this spot over the last year. That, then they'll throw dirt on it and throw seed on it, and you think they're done. And then, like last year, they were doing that, and then thought they were done, and then now this year again, they ripped it all up again. So I don't know what's under there, but they keep making a mess, and especially along the boulevard, keeps throwing rocks and stuff. Gravel, fill that they bring in, drainage type. Rock ends up all over the lawn. That neat little electric car. That's called a... You guys probably didn't see it go by the camera angle, but you might have heard it. It's called a Lucid Air or something like that. Kind of nice. Next door neighbor. Here, this neighborhood is pretty well off. You can see pretty nice houses. Yeah, the only thing about this Milwaukee backpack blower that I'm not too fond of, and it's the same with the Crest one that I have, is that they have this fabric, like loose handle, which I don't like. I wish it was like a molded handle, like the Echo back ones in the steel ones have. It's just easier to, when you're like pulling it in and out of the trailer, to kind of control that weight, whereas this kind of flops around and it makes it a little bit more difficult to deal with. That's the only thing Yeah, they could have just extended this plastic piece up here with the handle built in, but it's the only thing on it that I'm not too fond of. But like I said, it was the same on the same style on the Crest. Backpack blower as well. The Crest had a little plastic like a tube though that the cloth handle went through. So it was a little bit more. It didn't really help with the stability, but it was a little bit more comfort on your hand, I'd say. Yeah, the fact that the city has torn out that other side again, I think I would almost now reevaluate my recommendations of what I would do to fix the lawn from the Schaefer beetle damage here. I think I would almost advise her to hold off because if they ripped out that side, they might rip out this side again. They did last year. Maybe she can talk to them and see what the heck they're doing and why they ripped it out again. Let's see her sprinkler sticking out of the ground there. Nobody's got any other questions or comments or anything? Where are you guys all from? Watching? People come and go. After this stream, after this lawn, I think I'll probably end the stream. And then the next house up that I probably won't stream from there is the French fry house that I call it. You guys have nicknames for your properties or your customers? Usually have names for some of them, not all of them, but some of them. The French fry house, of course, I call it that because of the Wendy's restaurant drive-thru that is at her back fence. Her house borders a little kind of strip mall type thing that has a Wendy's drive-thru, Wendy's restaurant. So because I'm mowing during the day, usually in the afternoon, usually at this, right after this house. So it's currently 11:30 in the morning, so by the time I get there, it's prime lunchtime. So they got the French fryers going in like full blast. So the backyard always smells like French fries, which can be sometimes really challenging to work and smell fresh French fries. Especially fast food French fries. It's always so bad for you, but so good tasting. Although it did in the last 2 years since I've been doing that client, something new happened a week or so ago when I was there. it's either last week or it's probably the week before last week. Is that it didn't smell like French fries. It literally, the whole backyard was flooded with the smell of bacon. And I was like, oh, Wendy's Baconators. It's Baconator season. That's why it smells like bacon. So I thought French fries was tough to work and smell. I can assure you bacon is worse. You're salivating while you're working. Also, I got confirmation from the company that I was kind of talking about in previous live streams as well, about a charging solution, onboard charging solution. So, got shipping confirmation that that is coming. He gave me a tracking number and stuff, so hopefully by next week I'll have that as well. So essentially it is, I guess I can reveal, it's a solar generator, power box, battery type box with inverter type thing all built in. It's by a company called Blue Yeti, and basically has a large lithium ion phosphate battery, which is a very power dense type battery, but very safe type of lithium battery with a very extended lifetime. So essentially you can basically charge this thing up in the evenings or whatever, and then take it with you during the day, and it's got basically a 1800 watt inverter built into it with 4 AC plugs. It has a peak mode that you can boost that 1800 watts up to 2600 watts if you needed, but that would be for like running tools and stuff off of, or charging batteries, which is obviously the purpose that I'm going to use it for. The regular mode is fine. It has a built-in, I believe it's 1152 watt-hour battery, and there is ways to expand it. It's got a solar port on it where you can plug in with a standard solar plug, solar port type plug, and through that you can either use solar panels to charge it. So technically you could have solar panels installed on your, say, like an enclosed trailer or something like that, and have that charging up to 500 watts. It'll accept charging power through solar or through that same plug. You can plug expansion batteries and expand that capacity if you wanted to. So that'll be a very interesting. It's a nice little semi-compact unit that weighs about 37 pounds. It's not too hard to carry in and out of the truck. It's multi-purpose, of course, so you can use it for any of your battery equipment and basically charge your batteries on the go, like right now where I had that Milwaukee battery go. Or right now I'm waiting. When I get home I'll throw that on a charger, but I do have the Milwaukee's new supercharger, which is able to charge those batteries in about I think it's 15 minutes. So I will be testing that out along with one of these power generators, battery bank things. be able to charge batteries on the go. And so once that arrives as well, then I'm going to switch out the Crest mower because I've been using it for a while now. I'm going to switch back out to the Exmark Commercial 21V series. That one, I have 3 batteries for that mower. It uses 1 battery at a time. They're 7.5 amp hour batteries. So for what I remember, that mower could do about 4 houses per battery on the adaptive speed, where it's like low power, but then it'll automatically ramp up the power if it needs it. So with 3 batteries, I usually, with that Exmark mower, for my roots, we'll have to go through 4 batteries in a day. So what I normally do is I start out with the first battery, mow, and then once that one's done, then I'll stop off at home, drop it off, and then use the other 2 batteries until the afternoon. And then towards the end of the day, stop off at home, grab that first battery, and it's with me to finish off the day. So now that I'll have that battery bank thing, because of course with the Crest, I didn't need to do that. The batteries are bigger. They're 11 amp hour. So I get about 7 average, 7 houses average. And I have 3 of those batteries. So I don't have to normally charge those. Oh, I need the blower. See what I mean about live streaming? I just get confused. Normally don't have to charge those. 3 batteries easily get me through a day. But because the Exmark is smaller batteries, so, but at least now I'll have a way to charge it on board, so I don't have to deal with taking it home and remembering to go back home and stuff. I can have a battery, use that first battery, and then immediately throw it on the charger inside the truck. Especially since the Exmark doesn't have any sort of fast charge or anything. At least the chargers that I have that come with the mower. Came with one. I have a second one to be able to charge the 3 batteries. So even that will be nice because normally what I have to do at the end of the day, if I'm coming, I pick up that last one, I have to remember to either drop off one of the batteries and I pick up the fully charged one and get that one charged because I only have 2 chargers. Or if I forget, then I have to charge all 3 batteries at night, which means with only 2 chargers, which means I have to remember before bed to go back out into the garage, for example, pull one of the charged batteries off, put the other battery on. So even with this, because I can charge on board, even by the end of the day, if I have even just one of those batteries charged already, then I can throw the other 2 on the charger at home at the end of the day, and then not have to worry about that. It just makes it a lot easier. So lots of different testing, different features this year. I've got multiple different Milwaukee chargers, different styles and types to test out. They give you a whole bunch of options. It's a really nice thing about Milwaukee. It's how customizable they make it all. Just gonna check bills. Did not pre-check it. I just want that one there, but I don't want to Put the camera down for a second. Or actually, maybe put the camera up. I guess that probably works better. Don't want to reveal any of the customer's information on the bill there. And then we'll go throw that in the door. And there we go. That is it for this one. It's just a front yard only. And see how I feel. French fry house. I can either do. I'm gonna stop off at home and use the washroom. So I can either do the French fry house on the way home or the French fry house after I get home. I'm gonna also load up the Navigator. So I can either do the French fry house on the way home or the way back to that next house. But let's pull this off. I think that's it for this one, guys. Thanks for joining me on this particular live stream. Like I said, I'm going to continue to try to do these at least once per mowing day or days that I'm working. As seen in the past, sometimes I've done them multiple times in a day, just depending on the situation and, one of those things with cell service and parking and so many different situations that affect the live streams. So, yeah, that's it for this one, guys.